G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I have another little juniper here that belongs to a client, and he wants me to have a go at restyling it into something. He had a lot of wire on the tree, and the wire had cut in quite deeply in certain areas, similar to those junipers that I did a while ago, those young ones. This is another kind of young tree, bit more older. This tree, it's got a bit more development. It's done some gin work on it, but it's got a very long straight trunk, very long and straight. And it's got a couple of branches that come down into just cascading kind of branches. My probably aim at the moment is I'm going to get some heavy gauge wire again on the trunk, and just create some sort of movement in this trunk. It just doesn't need to be it's just so straight, just a subtle movement back. Currently it's kind of falling over. You can see how backwards it is. I just want to bring it forward. And then it's pretty much just wiring those, maybe two branches, maybe one. I'm not sure if I keep both. Or just take the one stronger branch and probably just create a nice little literati kind of style cascading branch. Very simple, not too much foliage usually. That's the plan, that's the thinking. Clean up some of these gins and make them a bit neater. But yeah, all in all, a nice little simple tree. But people have these trees, a lot of people new to bonsai might have something similar. So I always try and like to do things that are, kind of relatable to people, not just huge, massive trees, which, I love working on. But also you got to be, show some younger stuff too. So I'm going to go off and put some heavy gauge wire on this, probably 6mm, and get it bent and give a bit more interest at the top. And we'll come back, and then I'll probably wire a couple of main branches, and we'll see how they develop. It's a simple looking tree, but it's actually a little bit complex because we've got to make the cascade branch look quite convincing. It needs to be a literati kind of convincing cascading branch. So to achieve that, you need probably really good heavy gauge wire. I'll be using aluminium again in this case, but just because I want to put some massive bends and twists into it. But yeah, good heavy gauge wire that will hold all the branches, because they're going to be cascading down. You want to make sure that they're nice and firm, they're not going to wobble around. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit interesting. I am a bit worried about this branch just hanging low, so it might just disappear, and I'll have just this big heavy stronger branch to work with, which will be more interesting. But we'll see what happens as I progress. The main issue though is the heavy damage here with wire. Like, I was able to take out most of the wire. There's a couple of pieces in there that I just can't get out. They'll just grow over in time. The trunk will grow over them. But yeah, that's probably just be careful again when you have damage to wire in the opposite direction. So if the wire is like that, I'm going to wire the other way. So I cross over the damage points, which is really important, so you don't cause any too much more damage to the tree. Alright guys, I will be off doing some wiring, and we'll come back and have a look. Alright, so we're at a point where I have wired the tree pretty much most of the parts that I want to keep. I haven't wired this back thing at the moment. I want to create a literati bonsai. So literati is about, for me, it's minimal foliage. You don't want to have too much foliage on this very slender trunk. I've wired the trunk, I've put some bends in it, and I've changed the angle, changed the front. I think the original before I had it there. I think I've moved it around a bit more this way. Slightly, just because I've been able to bend the trunk backwards a bit, back onto the top of the tree. I didn't want to reposition the base of the tree in terms of bending it and putting it in the pot. It goes back and then comes forward, the tree. So I don't know if that can be seen. So it goes back and then forward, which is nice art. So you just want it to come forward a bit more. So it's pretty flexible now with that wire. I can actually position it however I want to do it. And now it's a matter of wired this branch, and I've wired these two little ones up here. I've left this one alone for now. I haven't cut it off yet. I want to try and position all this, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I'll chuck it on time lapse because I think it's been popular, watching me position branches and trim them off, etc. So I'll put it on time lapse, and we'll just position everything and see what it looks like at the end. It's purely, I've wired, as I said, wired all this. Now it's just positioning them into some sort of literati form. Very minimalist. Probably want to reduce a bit more foliage, but we'll see how it all pans out. Okay, so this is how it looks now, and we'll see how it comes up. Alright everyone, so you would have seen the time lapse. Here's where the tree has ended up. I think it looks pretty cool, pretty nice little literati kind of style shimpaku. I'm not shimpaku, it's some sort of blue juniper. Not 100% sure what it is. I noticed the smell of the foliage is a bit off-putting a little bit, so I'm not sure which juniper that is. I kind of like it. It's come up really well. I'm just tweaking a little bit of this and that now, just to get a bit more cascading look on that little part, but I'm just tweaking all these back up. But yeah, all in all, it's pretty good. I think I changed the front back to where it was. Once I've finished doing that, it looks a bit better towards even there actually, bit more around to that side too, so you can actually see the cascading side back that way. Maybe I'll leave it up to the owner to decide which way he wants it to go, but looks really good. I've shortened this gin, it didn't need to be so long, looks a bit better. Nice, some movement back into the front of the viewer, so you can see the difference there. It's coming more towards you, and we've got a nice little literati now. I think it come up really nice. Again, not too difficult. Just see the tree. I did remove that big heavy branch. Doesn't need it. So you can see I left it right to the end. It just caused confusion. So take it off. Now I've got a lovely little cascading main branch. A couple of little things to create the apex, and there we go. So guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Nice, quick literati. You know, long, tall trunks. You can still work with them and make them interesting. If anything, this could have had a bit more movement in this section, so maybe in time we can do that a bit more, or I might give it a bit more of a tweak here and there, put some guy wires, tweak it down. But at the moment it's quite elegant, quite nice like that. A little bit of movement here would have been even better, but all in all, pretty good finish, pretty good result, and I'm happy with it. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.